weeks away is, it was a great, opportunity to sort of, to almost get back what we missed a little bit over COVID, and we didn't realise how much not being together as a squad. So I know the challenge of the game was enormous, but the 2 weeks itself, I thought we covered a lot of ground. Well, I think there's so much to learn. I think certainly the challenge of the game was enormous around power. And I say we learn it doesn't mean necessarily we could solve it. It is, certainly probably more so the Sharks was, a demonstration. I think against the Bulls we were able to sort of, I suppose, create some pressure on the scoreboard, but right from the off we were on the back foot against the Sharks, and then losing Ross and everything else compounded. So I think it was when you say we learn, the basics of the game are around power when you're involved in the South African sides, and how we combat that and how we move closer to that is a significant challenge for us. Good news, I think, is structurally everything's okay. I think he's had damage to a nerve, which is extremely painful, and I think he felt a pop in his knee, which was obviously very stressful for him. And I think the damage, which is to his nerve, is significant, but I think we're all sort of holding our breath, waiting for bad news, probably more structurally, and almost seeing potentially something else as being favourable. But so we're still in a little bit of finding out, because obviously nerve damage isn't as straightforward as something else. But the news that structurally his knee's in good shape and everything else is good news. Absolutely, we would expect him to play again this year. I think Jack Dixon's performances have warranted notice from outside of the region. I think he's been fantastic. I think it's been a long period. He probably accommodated him at 13 because of his ability to defend in that space. I think he's, with an Irons injury, he's gone back into feeling more comfortable around 12. I thought his performance against the Bulls was international class, and I think he, against a pretty difficult platform against the Sharks, he's 100% defence and everything else. So I think Jack, with it's his 150th game, he's probably the youngest man I've ever known to hit 150, is a real credit to himself, and he's been his form has been as good as I could expect of him. And as I said, I think people should look from outside of the region and think about other people if they're in similar situation, could they maintain those levels of performance, and full credit to him. I think we approach it as a springboard. We've always approached European competition as opportunity to play against French opposition, Premiership opposition, which is always a great learning for us, and I don't think this weekend's any different from us. I think where it favours us is we're hopefully springboard into probably the biggest congested period of games that we've had this season, and local derbies moved from Christmas into here. So we certainly will see it as an opportunity to just get the wheels turning, ready to go towards the end of the year. Interestingly, they're probably, for a long period, this is probably the best year in terms of putting pressure on the top half of the Premiership, and I know they've got some games in hand. They're probably gone back a little bit to an incredibly powerful forward performance, and I think they build their games off the back of that. I think so. Absolutely got the ability to play quick, but it's very much off the back of a powerful forward platform, and I wouldn't expect them to deviate from that at the weekend.